Hi, this is LaShawn Jenkins again with the Notary Institution, and today I actually wanted to go over things that you should do before the signing, during the signing, and after the signing. And I have created a list here of things. So the first thing to do before the signing, these are not actually in no particular order, just things that you should keep in mind before you take on any signing. Well, before the signing takes place. So the first thing you should do is always call to confirm with the borrowers. When you're calling, you want to make sure that you confirm the time, the location of the signing, and also with whom you're meeting. You want to confirm that that's who you're meeting, their names, and everything like that. And another thing you want to look for is when you're printing out the documents, you want to make sure that all the documents are actually there. And sometimes people make mistakes. Sometimes the lender makes mistakes. Sometimes the title company makes mistakes. Sometimes documents are scanned in, but a page was skipped or something. So you always have to make sure that everything is there. Sometimes people will make an error on the spelling of people names. They might not have include a name on there. So that's things that you actually want to make sure and check. Another thing is, again, the signing address. That's the most important thing. One time I verified the signing address with the signer, but what it was, the title company, it was a different address, like a different zip code. So it was the correct address, but the signer was not, they had the wrong zip code on there. So when I verified it, it just was actually the wrong address, even though it was an address just like it that was in the same area as me. Another thing is, okay, so that's all of what I have for what you do before the signing. Things that you should do during the signing. You always want to make sure that they're signing the documents correctly, signing them the way that they are supposed to be signing them. Not only do you have to look out for them, but you also have to make sure you're signing the documents correctly, that you're filling out all the acknowledgement, your jurats correctly, and that you're crossing out where you should cross out, and also you make sure that you place your seal in the proper place. Another thing you want to make sure is during the signing is that you want to look for any type of place where they need to initial the documents or anything of that matter, or places where that they need to sign. So that's your job while you're conducting the signing. And another thing that you want to do during the signing is you always want to try to explain the documents the best way you can, so that, you want to explain the documents the best way that the borrower can understand without having to read the documents over. And sometimes that's why if you're able to prepare for your signing, normally with your first signing, you should give yourself plenty of time to prepare. Don't never take any last minute signings, as a new loan signing agent. But if you don't understand the document and you just don't get it and you're not at the signing table, a lot of times you can always call whoever assigned you the signing. You can always call them and ask them, just for clarification, or ask them to explain something. If there's a form that you don't understand how to fill out and where the borrower should initial, the people that assigned you the signing are more than willing to help you. A lot of times there's a huge, misconception about calling the signing companies, asking for help. Trust me, these people, they are more than willing to help you prior to signing, because one, their name is on the line, and they don't want no mistakes on the signing. So if they can prevent a mistake from happening, they're going to do that. They're going to help you. They're going to answer your question, and they're going to make sure you understand it so that all the documents are executed properly, so that there won't be no mistakes. Everyone will be happy. Everyone will receive their full entire fee, because sometimes if you do mess up on a document, some of these signing companies, they're going to send you back out there, and you're not going to get paid to go back out there. Two, some of them, they'll send you back out there, won't get paid to go back out there, and they will deduct $20 to $25 from your signing fee. So if you're already, especially if you're a newbie, a lot of times you may just be receiving a signing for $100, $75. So that $20 will make a huge difference. So just by you calling whoever assigned it to you, rather if it was a signing company that assigned you to signing or a title company, you can always call those people and ask them questions about a document that you may have never seen before, or you just don't understand how the borrower is to fill it out. You can always call them, and trust me, they are more than willing to help you. Even if they can't help you right away, they will get someone to get back to you to help you fill it out fill it out. Even if they have to contact you through email, telephone, or text message. They want to make sure that the borrower is taken care of as much as possible, and that you understand what's going on also. And another thing during the signing that you have to look for, you always have to make sure that the borrowers are signing where they are supposed to be signing, because sometimes the borrowers, they get overwhelmed. There's so many papers, so many documents. So that's why it's also your job to make sure that they're signing in the correct places, because after a while, as you're going through the signing, the borrowers, all they're going to see is this a line, date, and they're going to assume that they signed there. That's why it's important to explain to them where to sign and that stuff like that. So the last step of the signing phase is after the closing. So after you finish the signing, you always want to go through the documents, review them, and you can do this actually at the signing table. Review the documents, make sure that you didn't miss any signature spaces, make sure everything is initialed. Not only initial, you need to make sure certain forms are filled out, because sometimes there's forms that are sent to you, that's part of the loan package, that are not filled out, and you always have to make sure that they're filled out. Between the borrower fills them out or whoever fills them out, you always have to make sure that those forms are filled out. And after you finish the signing, you always want to follow up with the company that gave you the signing. So whether it's title company, signing company, always follow up immediately. The minute, you can either do it at the signing table, or you can do it as soon as you get into the car. You need to follow up with that signing company. You need to inform them, like, hey, signing is complete. And then if it's a scan, if you're scanning the documents back, faxing them, or shipping them, or however that they are receiving the documents, you need to inform them, give them an estimated time of when they can expect the documents. And if you're scanning, you want to make sure that you are at least able, depending on location and how far it is, at least scan within an hour, depending on where you're located at, or sometimes an hour and 30 minutes sometimes. And that is only really kind of depending on where you're at and the type of signings that you're doing on that case. But you always want to make sure that you follow up with the borrower, with the person that assigned you, the signing. Okay, and then it's a lot of people outside, so I'm just looking because it's people like coming close to the car. And another thing to do after the signing, when you're scanning, just make sure that all the documents scanned, because sometimes there's double feed. Also, you can make sure is that while after the signing is, again, make sure that you place your seal on every place that you're supposed to be, because sometimes we get so caught up in making sure that the borrower filled out, when sometimes the notary makes mistakes on where they go. Sometimes you might forget that you're supposed to date this. Sometimes you forget to place your seal on a particular piece of paper. Mistakes happen, and the thing about mistakes, mistakes do matter, but as long as you are willing to correct them, and also correcting them before that you send these documents off to finalize, then you're good to go. Also, after the signing, you want to make sure that you have your shipping label available. You want to make sure it's the correct shipping label for that signing, because when you start picking up more signings and stuff like that, you'll start to you'll have more to juggle. You'll have more shipping labels at one time, and I did a video on that previously on how you can better organize yourself whenever you have at least 3 or 4 signings in a day, or if you do general notary work in between. I have a video up there, a video on my YouTube channel explaining everything on how to make it easier on you. And the last thing after the signings, as soon as you ship off the documents or drop them off to whatever company, between UPS or FedEx or however they having them shipped, you can always either email the signing company and let them know, like, hey, package has been shipped, package will arrive this day. And that's exactly how you handle all your signings. And there's a lot of other little pieces that come into play when doing the signing, between the before, during, and after. But those are a few of the tips that actually help me for my company. And if you have any other suggestions, any veterans, people that have been in the business for a long time, if they have any other suggestions that they would like to suggest to the newbies, you're more than welcome to. But thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe down below to my channel. Bye-bye.